You're watching Hound TV. I'm your host, Stephen Grrr Pam. Today on the show, we're going to meet our Hound of the Week, Bruce. We'll revisit an old friend, but first, we'll check out an off-leash dog park.
Hound TV, 'cause every dog has its day.
Last episode, we met a cairn terrier called Polly. She was looking a little bit shaggy. She's now had a haircut. And as you can see, she looks very tidy, and this cost about $50 to have done here in Melbourne. And while we've got her, she's going to test out an off-leash dog park for us. We've brought Polly to test out Gilpin Park, which is an off-leash dog park here in Brunswick in Melbourne. Ready, Polly? Go!
I've been running for miles, I'm tired, I can't find my way. Been moving, been traveling steady since the day that I was born. Too late to turn back, come too far to look back now. And I got to get back, get on back to you somehow.
Okay, here at Gilpin Park we've come across Ashi and all of her dogs, and an interesting thing we've found out about Iggy and, what's the other dog called?
Jetty.
Jetty, is that they are wearing citronella collars. Tell us why they're wearing citronella collars.
Well, when I got Iggy from the pound, she came from the pound, and I put her on the lead, and every time she saw a dog she went cataclysmically mentally aggressive, and people would be holding their dogs back and pushing their weight against the dog, trying to stop their dogs retaliating. And Jetty, he would be very aggressive off the lead because the big dog across the road, I came out of my front gate and I had him on the lead, and the big dog across the road came over and beat him up while he was on the lead. Yep. And ever since then, in the park, he's been very aggressive with other dogs when he's off the lead, very frightened, but it comes out in a very aggressive manner. And other dogs, again, have been retaliated, and owners have been saying, stop your dog. And I rang up a behaviourist, and she said to try citronella collars. Right. And now I hardly get a bark out of them.
So how long have they been using the collars?
About a month now.
And they're effective very quickly?
Straight away.
Really?
Straight away, and they go off like a aerosol can in the face. Iggy will still bark maybe once or twice on a walk, and she'll get a little squirt. Jetty knows as soon as the collar goes on that, barking's over.
Been running for miles, and I come.
Gilpin Park is a great off-leash park if you happen to live in Melbourne's inner north. But what if you live in Melbourne's southeast, or Sydney, or Brisbane, or Washington DC? Well, why not jump onto Google and do a search for off-leash dog parks and the name of your district. You'll probably find that there are resources available, including a list of parks in your area. So, what should you look for in an off-leash dog park? Well, it's got to be a nice place for you and your dog, of course, and convenient to where you live. But there are a couple of other things that are worth checking out as well. Many off-leash dog parks do provide pooper scoopers and poo bags, but it's always best to bring your own in case they run out, or if your dog decides to do a poop when you're not near the dispenser. See this big hole in the ground in which I'm standing? It's meant to be a lake, so if it rains heaps or someone brings a big hose, then this is going to be a lake again. Cool. Hey, if you're enjoying the show, vote for us at Podcast Alley. There's a link in the top right-hand side of the website, houndtv.com. Thanks. It's also worth checking whether the park is fenced. This may not be a concern if your dog responds very reliably to being called, or if you have a small dog that doesn't go very far. However, if you've got a dog that likes to run, like say a greyhound, or if the park's in a busy area with lots of vehicular traffic, then fencing is probably going to be a priority. And finally, it's worth checking the signage at the park to see if there are any restrictions about the off-leash time periods. In many areas there are restrictions about what time of day, day of the week or time of the year you're allowed to have your dog off the leash. So do check it out and don't risk a fine. And if all that checks out well, all you need is some good weather and you and your dog should have a great time.
She probably likes it.
Well, she seems to be pretty happy. Our Hound of the Week today is Bruce. And this is Bruce's human, Graham. Hi, Graham.
G'day, Steve.
Now, what kind of dog is Bruce?
He's a border collie.
Okay, now Border Collies that most of us are used to seeing are black and white, and Bruce is a red Border Collie, and Border Collies actually come in other colours as well, like blue and even tricolour with a bit of red and blue and black and white and all sorts of things.
Because he's only a puppy, he's got quite a light colouring. He'll get darker as he gets older. This is only 3 months, so yeah, around his ears is starting to darken up, but the rest of his body is still quite light.
And he's got these hazel eyes as well, which is interesting.
Yeah, when he was a puppy, they were a little bit more bluey, so they appear to be sort of darkening up as well at the same time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see in another 3 months or so what he's like.
Now, Border Collies are, of course, as everyone knows, bred as a herding dog. Does Bruce exhibit any of those tendencies? Does he try and herd you around the place?
He's only a puppy, so today he tends to just herd like balls and things like that. So he tends to just chase a ball and try and sort of round it up. But he's still a little bit afraid because he's a puppy of the bigger dogs and cats and stuff like that.
Bruce is a pretty unusual name for a dog. Was he named after the Australian Prime Minister Stanley Bruce?
Unfortunately not, no. He was named after the Queensland Highway.
Okay. Bruce Highway. Now, Graham, you've got a ute or a pickup parked out the front, and as everyone knows, you're not allowed to have a ute without having a dog to go with it. Is that was there a link there with why you chose a Border Collie like Bruce?
Yeah, it was just to get a dog that looks okay in the back of a ute. But reality is, it's not allowed. But and that's not the intention. But it was just more of a bit of a lark,
just for a laugh. Well, actually, in Australia at least, you're not allowed to have dogs unrestrained in the back of utes anymore. So that's something that we may cover in a future episode as well. He sure does like a cuddle, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. He'll fall asleep anytime.
Well, guys, that's Bruce, the Border Collie, and Bruce's human, Graham. That wraps up episode 4. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. You can go to iTunes and search for dogs under podcasts, or just go straight to houndtv.com. And if you want more info about anything that we talked about today, it's in the show notes, which is also at the website. See you next time. Until then, keep on hounding.